is Laurence. Again, I am not French, so I can't speak her name very well. Laurence is GDG Montreal lead. She's also WTM ambassador, and she is mentor for Canada region. Go Canada! I was in Canada.
Yeah. And here is Vikram. He was in Canada before, another place. Actually, how many places did you travel?
I'm sorry.
It's another subject. But he's in GDG Cloud at San Francisco, and GDG Cloud and ML. He's a mentor. He's now Pacific region mentors, and he's super involved in the community. So this is a little bit of our agenda for today, but we will talk about that. So next slide. So first of all, curating content. There is a lot of topics.
A lot. You have ideas for content you could do, things that are popular in your community. So there's Flutter, there's cloud, there's AI, there's new things in technology. Like there's new frameworks that are coming out. There's new IDEs that you can talk about at your meetup. There's new languages that you can talk about. So much stuff. Like, that's for beginners. And then you can do architecture testing.
Too much slide.
Too much content. All right, there's a lot of content. You can see that. And we have seen, like, Google puts out content bundles, even like, there's so much content.
So what do you want to talk in your meetup? What is important? You need to know which are your attendees. Like, the people that are coming to your event, they want to learn from you, and they want to learn something specific. So if you're changing always topics and like trying to diversify all your talk in different subjects, and there is no link between each others, then can be really bad for your community in a way. You will have not people coming back again because they was attending to have some topics, some category of topics, and it's changing every time. So how we start to know our attendee first. So to choose a good content, you need to know your attendees. But how can we know attendees when we are starting our meetup and we don't know anyone, we don't know people that will come to our meetups? So on our meetup page, you can ask questions. So everyone that will join your meetups can answer some specific topic. Where are you want to come in my community? What you're looking for? Are you a new person, developer? Are you an experimented? You can ask what you want on it, and it can be helpful to know which person are coming to your community.
Same you can do with Google Forms. So we generally, like Montreal and like almost all GDG chapters, we send out forms on a like regular basis to ask for our audience, like maybe they have changed, maybe there are new people in town, maybe the like colleges, like new batches, they are looking for something very different than what we have in our database already. So you get to know your audience by asking for more forms. Like you can do this after events, before events, on random intervals.
Yeah, and asking what you want as topics and everything, changing, get to know the people.
Yeah.
Also, there's other tools like Eventbrite. When you register to an event, you can create custom questions that are required. So it's a good way of like answering how much diversity do you have in a form. Like counting and trying to mid-gender people is maybe sometimes not feeling comfortable, but having something like Eventbrite or a form, it forces people to answer the question at the beginning, so you don't need to ask them in person, hey, how do you identify yourself? It's like less of an awkwardness in a way, and you can track like the diversity growing with that tools.
Yeah.
And ask other questions too. A good way to know people is to become friends, because you're creating a community, and community is kind of family. So at the end, this is all some people that come to my meetup sometimes, and we're now friends, we're going to take beer, talking about technology just for fun, because the way it's like, for my purpose, it's like sharing information and like making people comfortable to talk about technology. So making friends lets you know people.
And my point is to make them uncomfortable. So we do stupid things together. So when you become friends with your audience, you get to know them better, and then you can do stupid things together. That's what you're doing here.
And when you do stupid things, in a way, people feel less like, oh, this is an official event. I need to be super formal, and I don't feel comfortable because I'm scared of doing, like, saying the wrong things, or people will judge me. And when you see people doing stupid stuff, you're like, okay, I can go how I want, and they won't judge me because well, everyone is judging everyone, but in a way, it will be fun.
Yeah, but what you have to know is there's generally, like, of course, your audience, but your audience might not be enough. You need to keep growing your audience. So know what is popular in your city. So you have to make sure that you keep a tab on that.
Yeah, because some, like, AI is everywhere, but like, there is place, and when you're starting and you're like, I don't know what content, what is interesting in my city, I don't know how I can bring people. And if you choose a topic that is really important and there is a lot of like company that's trying to get this technology, it will help you build your community in a way.
Yeah, your aim as an organizer is not to just choose any topic. It's to choose the topic that is good for your community. So you handpick your topics, and I hope people are familiar with Salt Bay, and like you have to do that for your community.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So there is some subjection of topics, like categories of topics. So you can get with a new topic or how to start to do a new platform, or there is Flutter. Flutter is new. How to start to do your first app in Flutter. Those kind of topics can be super interesting because nobody is an expert on it. So even though you're not an expert, if you search a little bit, you can become more expert than others. So you can do a talk about it and talk about this information, and everybody wants to learn, so they are super excited to learn about those topics.
Yeah, and you can also do like events about like specific problems. So there's generally like everybody has a new technology that they want to learn about, and then they have some specific problems about either technology that they're aware of or something that they're very like struggling with. So it helps to have an expert come in, and they can talk about exactly how to use this one specific part of the technology. Depends. All of these things are suggestion as we are putting it out. Just remember to curate it for your audience. Your audience will be very different from the audience, right? GDG is just like in the city versus you are in the neighborhoods. Like, two audiences will be very different to make sure it's curated for your audience.
Yeah, that's true. And when you're talking about solving problems, like from the beginner to the expert one, you will still have the same small issue of configuration or something that people will all get through. So talking about those issues and how to solve it is super interesting for everyone, but still choose the content for your audience.
Now, next up, finding speakers. Before we do that, picture a shoe. Which one did you think of? Leftmost, center one, the rightmost. We all have biases, right? So we all thought about a different shoe. We all have our own biases. Let's make a good job at intentionally being aware of those biases and circumventing those biases when we are doing any of these things, any of these events. So for speakers.
Yeah, so how can we find speakers and try to diverse also having a diversity and inclusion speaker representation? So what is kind of important is trying to at least try to get 30% of women, and it's hard. And it's really hard depending on the subject and like the topic that you have is a super niche field. You need to like find those women and try to represent. But how can you find them if you don't know some woman and you're like, oh, I know like one woman in my job because my job is not diverse and I want to bring other women to talk, and where do we find them and how can we achieve like at least 30%? One of the ways is like building a list of women speakers that you know, and there is already some list that exists, like the one of Tracy Lee, that is Lady Lead on Twitter. There's a lot of speakers, so you can refer of that and creating your own list of speakers that is on your city, so you can refer it after that and like try to bring them to your meetups and events.
Yeah, that's like if you already have a list. If you don't, you can attract more speakers to your event. So to do that, generally, like most of us have websites. If you don't, find a template. The templates are right there. Build a website for your team. Build a website for your event. When you do DevFest, it's very important to have a website because generally that's how speakers also want some recognition. And to have recognition, you should put their name on a website. And that is one of the things that you can do. So ensure that you have a website. You should have content. You should be generating pictures when they're on stage, like generating videos that we are doing today again. So try to entice speakers into coming for your event.
Also, there is another way of attracting them. It's like to giving some rewards. So speakers volunteers, so they need to have like something that make them come to your event. A good way, and it's a small event or every event, is to record talk. People want after that to use the recording talk to like promote themselves. It's a good way of selling, oh, I'm good at speaker, and after that, like finding other place to talk or just like getting some recognition of their topic and watching it again. So it's a good way. And for big event, you can go with like, I will give another ticket for your husband, wife, friends. You get one free ticket for what you want, paying for the transportation, hotel, having childcare for the events. All those things, you need to make it in advance to say, hey, if you come to speak to my event, I will make sure that at least you don't pay to come and make sure that you feel welcome and everything on that. And like people will be, oh my God, I will have a video of myself and all those things, and I can bring my child, it's nice. So yeah, this is a way.
Yeah, when you are starting to do bigger events, you should start to do call for papers, because when you are doing bigger events, there will be a lot of speakers and competing speakers who would want to speak at your event. Not only that, but every speaker has their own expertise that they would want to present. But you, as the community leader, already has understanding of your community needs. So if there are 50 AI ML talks, you don't want to do 50 of those. Your community needs a balance. Your community needs some web talks. Your community needs some Flutter talks and some machine learning talks. So that's why what you do is you start creating a call for paper where speakers who are speaking at different events, they can submit a talk to you. You can take a look at that and review that. Remember to put deadlines in there, and remember to put a code of conduct in there. Speakers are very intentional on type of events they go to, and sometimes they would refuse to come to your event if your event doesn't have a code of conduct.
And it's also super important to have a code of conduct and to use it, like to make sure that everybody feel welcome, and to make sure that your code of conduct include the person that organized the speakers, the sponsors. So it's for everyone in your community and your event, and it's applied to everyone. So if there is a problem, there is a protocol, and we will go through that. So at least put it on the call for paper so they know about how much you care about diversity and inclusion. Also, how to create your call for paper. The simplest way is like only a Google form, and you use it, you send, please add your title, descriptions, and other stuff like this. And if you have bigger event, there is like papercall.io that is mostly free, depending of like the community free stuff. There is Sessionize also, and if you have budget, you can pay for more. And what is fun with those places is that there is a lot of lists of speakers that are there, and they will apply to your event without you to try to do some publicity of your event. They will just saw your call proposition, and they can apply.
Yeah. Even then, these platforms have a lot of speakers. Even then, you might want to make sure that you publicize it to enough people. So there are diffusion lists on Twitter that you can go to, and you put your link for CFP over there, and more people will see it. You can add that to your weekly newsletter. We, at our group, do monthly newsletter, and we send that out to other people who want to speak. This doesn't have to be specific to an event. You can just say, like, this is our form. If you are ever interested in speaking at our meetup, this is the form that you can fill in. And remember to add an option for somebody wants to do just 10-minute talk. They don't have a lot of content. They just want to present something that they have built. So enable that kind of thing. Put it on your Slack, social media. There's other meetups that you can post it to.
Yeah. And try to find other events that you can share a promotion together. So if they share your call for paper, you're sharing them call for paper, and now you have like a lot of spread of place to like propose and say, hey, we're looking for speakers, so please apply.
Yeah.
And you need to don't forget about diversity in that part. So one way to bring diversity is like to try to find groups that are more diverse. So trying to find some group in your city that is more Black lady, Latina, geek, woman who codes, diversity group, there is queer text. Is the way if you propose a call for paper in those groups and like you will have a more diversity speaker to choose from. So it's really important to try to find those groups and to promote your event in those groups to find those speakers and encourage them to apply to your event. Also, don't forget about the list you created and the other list. Just spread it to all the speakers that you know that they are on the diverse group, so they know that you're having a new event and you want them to speak. And you can also communicate directly with them to encourage them to apply.
Yeah, and don't forget about GDEs. GDEs are Google Developer Experts, which are comped by Google, not comped. They are given flight and hotel tickets by Google. So if you have a GDE coming to your talk, you don't have to worry about their travel reimbursements, their hotel reimbursements. Google will cover for that. Plus, they are expert speakers. They know their topic. They have done a lot of work into that space, and you can easily find them. We have 2 links here. And just communityleads.dev, that is the best place to go and take a look at this. Just remember to do that.
And I want to remember, even though the old person, that they updated the GDE website with some links so you can contact them directly. There is like the LinkedIn, the Twitter, and not only the name anymore. So
yeah.
It's more easy to communicate with GDE now. And also on the Community Lead platform, there's chat and email part, so you can find them there too. But at least go see those websites.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a good place to find some speakers. Otherwise, like every time you go to an event and you find some speakers or people, you can propose them to do a talk and make sure you make contact with them. Like we have a super tool that is called LinkedIn. And you can do a nearby here in the event and add everyone here. Because maybe you don't know, but those persons may do talk and be good or want to do talks. And more you get connection and you share and you propagate your event, your community more, you can attract more speakers and things like that.
Yeah, so I was running GDG Vancouver earlier, and they started using this phrase whenever they went to meetups. They went to say, hey, would you speak at our meetup? Our meetup is the top rising GDG meetup in the world. Not true, but that's how they were pitching themselves. And it helps. It helps with the speakers.
Yeah, you just need to promote your event and say how much you care about diversity and how much you care about community, and it's a good place to go and like make contact like this. And if you have business cards or LinkedIn or whatever, just share your contact to other people. You never know when this person will be applying for you or when you can communicate with others. Even though in the community as organizer, we can help us every time. So.
Yeah. If that doesn't work out, let's say none of these things worked out, just find somebody that you know. It could be your manager, it could be your coworker, somebody who has some experience. Drag them along. Come on. You are doing this talk. I don't care how you prepare for it. You are the one who's doing this talk. There are going to be 50 people in the room, and you're going to do it. There is a lot of talent around you. Just remember to tap into that.
And remember, like, you need to remember people are scared. They're like, you are the god in front of people speaking about your topic. You need to be the super expert of whatever. And that's true. Nobody knows everything. And a lot of people are not good at talking, and they are scared and they struggle because talking to people that look at you and don't really answer is difficult. You don't know where to look, and you're like, oh, do I click? I don't remember what are my slides. And it's stressful. But the purpose of a community is to share knowledge between each other. You don't need to be an expert to do a talk. You just need to talk about what is your experience, and people will just help you and like help you answer other questions. And when you have questions, and if you don't know an answer, you can say, I don't know. Do someone know in the room these questions and can answer that? Because I'm not there in my knowledge, and it's okay. So encouraging everyone to do a talk, help them, empower them, and you will have more speakers with that.
Yeah, this is a platform to fail. Don't worry about that. Just come up, talk about it.
Yeah. So preparing your event.
Okay, so preparing your event takes a long time. Generally, people think, oh, I just want to do that event. I'm just going to do that event today. Start doing that event today, and then in next week I'll do that. To do a good event, it takes a long time. So
yeah, you're starting like 3 months before the event, like creating your meetup event meetup, building a website, making sure that everything's go up. So at least have a little bit of publicity about your event, so people will know that something coming.
Yeah, and then like you have to confirm your speakers, make sure that their topics are there. As soon as the 2-month deadline is approaching, make sure that all of those things are set. When there's 1 week left, remember to send reminders to your speakers. They forget.
Yeah.
It happens. So you have to send reminders to them to make sure that they're coming in there.
Yeah, and make information available of which way, what is the bus to come, or how can I go to this event, and where we will be. Like, communicate with speakers is really, really important because they don't read email, but that's another thing. So 1 day before, you're rushing, you're screaming everywhere because everything goes wrong, but no, sorry. I'm discouraging everyone to do events right now. But yeah, you need to set a reminder to the attendees to where is the venue. Don't forget about this event because maybe you booked the event like, I don't know, they registered 4 months ago and now they forgot about it. So please just do reminders so they will know and be prepared for the event.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, speakers do forget.
No,
People also
not
forget.
only speakers, everyone. Everyone doesn't read email or read it fast because we get too many notifications on the day and we have our job and other stuff and you're like, oh yeah, I saw this, but I didn't read, I will read it later, and they forgot. And they don't go back. So it's really important to make sure that speakers, that sponsors, that the people, the attendees know about the event, and if you don't get a response from them, you can try to communicate by other way, LinkedIn, Twitter. I want to make sure you just read my email or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really, really important to make sure that they have the information and they didn't miss anything. So sometimes when you write an email, make sure that there is a sentences that they need to reply on it. So you can know if they read it or not, and follow like the communication between speakers and sponsor and everything.
Yeah, make sure that when you have these events set up, put it on the meetup.com, make the events free for all. As a small chapters, as a beginning of the chapters, you should keep events all free for everybody, make registrations open. Remember to enable the +1s. Add a banner for the event. It's very important. When you share that event across other social media, they use that banner image. So remember to add a banner to that. And also remember to add clear directions. Sometimes people come to the venue, they don't know which floor the event is happening on. So remember to do all those things.
A super important part is to have, at least in your slide or something, a remember about the code of conduct. And it can be super simple as this. Identify people that if I have an issue, which person I should talk to. Sometimes there is email and you forget about the email, but if you have a face on front, you will know that, hey, there's something that's happening. I will talk to those people and they will figure it out and make sure that everything feels comfortable. And just remember a little bit what is the purpose, why it's so important to have diversity, and like to have a code of conduct so everyone feels safe in the event. And adding like the website also to the all code of conduct with all the conditions and everything. So it's a super easy way to remember the code of conduct.
And don't do remote speakers.
Yeah.
This was my experience. When I started doing GDG, the first thing that I did was I was in a very remote town. I was like, OK, we can't invite the speaker here. We're just going to do a Hangout. And it will work, because Hangout speed is fine. We will do everything. It worked, but experience was poor. Like, yeah, the content was delivered, but how the content was delivered was really bad. That whole concept was like, yeah, don't do it.
And you never know. Sometimes you're like, oh, the Wi-Fi will be good. They won't be good. And like you will try to connect and it will not work. And you're like, oh no. And it's our only speakers and people are waiting and I'm trying to fix that. And you see the person talking and freezing between, like, please don't.
And remember to ask for help. Remember to have co-organizers. You think that you can do everything by yourself? You can't. There will be always some things that will go wrong. Pizza might not be there. There could be somebody who is like 3 floors down, so you have to go run back and up. There will be a speaker who is staging, who's at the front. Their laptop might not be working. You might have to bring another laptop. just remember, take a deep breath. It's okay. That's totally fine.
Yeah, you will be stressful, but you will survive.
Yeah.
And also, it's super important to have other plans, because what can go wrong will go wrong. There will be always some things go wrong, like, oh, the projector doesn't work because the HDMI cable doesn't work there. So having another HDMI and anything like that can be super useful. I got some speakers that canceled the same day because they missed their plane, and I needed to find something. How do I change my schedule? Do I cancel an hour? Or do I have something to, like a second person I can just fit at the last minute to do a talk at that, to replace those persons? So having thinking in a way in advance what can go wrong, make you feel less stressful at the event and relax more. Like in a way, when you get your first thing that go wrong, like, oh no, what can I do? I don't know. And now you're like, okay, we already have this issue. We already thought about this issue, so we will just do that, change those people, switch people off talks because one is late, didn't remember to put a wake-up call in the morning. So this will happen, and just, it's okay. Your event will not be perfect, but nobody cares. Yeah, you put your level of perfection in a way, and people are like, I just want to enjoy the event, and they will not even notice that you're running everywhere to fix everything. So yeah, having some backup plans is really helpful.
Yeah, remember to promote your event. This is very small, we are covering very quickly. Find a channel that really works for you. It could be any of these, or it could be all of the channels that work for you.
Yeah, when you do a lot of promotion everywhere, you will be able to have more impact and make sure that your events will be seen by people. Some people are super Facebook, other on Twitter. So if you choose one and you know that your community is there, it's fine. But if your community is kind of everywhere, sharing everywhere is good. And one fun fact is when you create a Facebook event, if someone say, I'm interested, their friend will see your event because his friend is interested too, and it's free. It's like free publicity. So spread it all around the network and social media.
Yeah. Remember, when you're doing it, you should share that by yourself and encourage your speakers to share. So when their speakers share, their friends also share. So this has happened at our event where the manager for one of our speakers actually shared that he was going to come in because he saw it last minute, and he was like, I'm going to come in. And remember to have a consistent hashtag. This is again for Twitter, but it also works on LinkedIn and I guess Facebook as well. But yeah.
Yeah, it's working everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Yeah, I like your speaker. Make sure that people know that you're bringing those badass person. They don't think they are badass, but they are. But yeah, just promote them. It's good for them. It's good for you, and you can create cards that can be shared, and they will be proud to go to your event, so they will share everywhere. So that's a good way.
Yeah, and remember that you, not only yourself, but also your audience has to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, next. Yes. So remember to make sure that your audience also shares, and you can promise them cookies. But yeah, remember to make sure that they also share, because that's how you get the more reach, not just your speakers and yourself.
Yeah, and it's always a way of kind of marketing those things that help people. They will just share because they are interested into the event. So, yeah.
And
so
that's it.
That's it. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah.
There's a lot of great material in here, lots of info, and we can tell that you guys are seasoned organizers.
All
right?
her.
Both of you. All her, okay. I think there's some of you too, I'm sure, Vikram. But you can tell that you guys are seasoned organizers. And I guess the question is, since you've implemented, let's say, this strategy or all the steps that you've kind of outlined here, because there are quite a few of them, how much improvement in attendance, in speaker retention, okay, have you seen from this? I mean, I know you don't have exact, data points on this, but just roundabout. I'm just curious.
Personally, with like the promoting and making sure that speaker come to the events, and with the call for paper. The first time I was with a form, it's normal to start. You don't need to implement all that thing, but eventually we'll get to the point that you need all those steps to make sure that your event is going well and to find speaker and things like that. But with the call for paper, I got a lot more propositions, and it's more easy for me to re-add them, even though I didn't choose them at the first time. I can keep a list and like try to find speakers. It's more easy when you have something as a process instead of like always looking for your friend or your co-organizer doing the same talk every month, because not the same talk, but creating a talk because you didn't find any speakers. And it's fine also to decide to speak up because you didn't find any speakers. It's a good way, but all those things of trying to, the code of conduct helps a lot to make people feel free. And when you repeat at the event that you have a code of conduct and you're clear about it, people are more welcome and they're less scared, because I know for some of my friends that are women, they are scared to go to meetups that are mixed. They're like, I don't know, there is too many men, I'm not used to that. Mostly those women that are maybe not in the software development, they feel less, they are more scared. They're scared of like asking a question and people like, well, you don't know that yet, and it will not happening. Like it's in their head, and if you put in front that your event is like, do not tolerate anything like that, it makes people feel more comfortable. So for me, implementing all those steps with publicity, with like call for paper to speaker content, helped me a lot to get some retention, and I have like a monkey that coming back. And for International Women's Day, I can like put some ticket to sell because I'm selling a little bit because my event is so big that I need some money, more than just a speaker. And even though I don't have any content posted on a website yet, people register because they know that the event will be great. So with having like the community, the way having website that you can show last year events and things like that, people get more encouraged to come back. So, yeah.
Yeah, when you are working in like a social cause kind of thing, it's very hard to measure these numbers.
Absolutely, yeah.
So rather than trying to measure it metrics, think of it as like a step function. Step function as in like initially when you are a new GDG, your goal is to make sure that you're covering for your audience and the audience is there and they are enjoying themselves and the topics that you're presenting are good. As you graduate from that level to become a bigger GDG and a larger chapter, your goal would be not only to like cater to your audience, but also to cater to its speakers. Yeah. And you will see these things grow, and you will see that how just adding a small code of conduct changes your audience. There will be more people. There could be people from different segments.
Sure.
These things are very hard to track on exact numbers.
Absolutely.
But just think of those as step functions. Last time we had none women speakers in here. Now we have 30% at least. That is a step function. It's not the count that matters. It's the impact that you're having that matters.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, and that's a good that's a good answer. And I know that, you know, aside from metrics, it's hard to measure all of that. But I'm sure you're seeing lots of improvements after implementing all those things. So thank you for this. It's a really good presentation. Lots of great information. And if I could just add and ask, the LinkedIn suggestion that you made, right?
Yeah.
To add people. If everyone could, if anyone that's interested, go to LinkedIn right now, just take a minute, and we could probably save ourselves a lot of time by just going to My Network under LinkedIn and click the person icon in the bottom right-hand corner. And
remember to do that throughout the day.
Yeah.
You're all here.
Exactly. So, I mean, if anyone is interested, you could do that right now.
And you will find all the people in the room.
Exactly.
And add them on LinkedIn.
And some Googlers who might be upstairs.
Yeah, and some Googlers that might be upstairs.
It always helps.
Yeah.
So no, that's a great idea. So if anybody's interested, I already see many people are interested. So that's great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. I don't think we have more time for questions, right, Corina? Yeah. So we'll take the questions during the break. We are all here throughout the day.
Yeah, so feel free to come see us after. And please answer like the form and give us feedback, real feedback. Did you like the content or not? And things like that. This will help us improve our content for the next event.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Vikram and Laurence.